Greetings, beautiful humans of Earth. It is I, Christina, here at Fit and Bendy in Los Angeles, and I'm here to answer that question that's been keeping you up nights. What is your rotator cuff and why should you care? We're going to talk about the 4 rotator cuff muscles and do some very simple exercises that's going to help you identify those muscles, see how they feel for you, and give them a little bit of strength and encouragement so that you really get to know each other, because these muscles are essential to the stability, health, and performance of our shoulders. We really need them to be strong and happy in order to do all of the fun things with our arms that we want to do, like this. Let's get going. So there are 4 rotator cuff muscles in your shoulder. And all you need for this exercise is wall. We're going to do some simple isometric, which means no movement exercises, just to help you feel those muscles. And they're sometimes hard to feel because they're underneath your deltoids, which are big honking muscles and are kind of easy to find. And the voice of the rotator cuff is a little bit of a quieter voice. So sometimes you have to do something that's a little bit more gentle in order to hear it and feel those muscles and develop that relationship. So let's start with the internal rotation, just because that one is often the quietest voice. There's one internal rotator muscle. It's called your subscapularis, and it runs from the front of your arm bone here, and then underneath your scapula. It attaches to the underneath part of your scapula. So you can't ever really touch it because it's all internal. And a good way to feel it is to stand with your elbow bent to 90 degrees at your side and to take your opposite hand and just put it against the blade of your hand. And then the movement that we're thinking about doing is this, internal rotation with this hand. But with the other hand there, we're not going to be able to move. We're just going to gently press into it. And what's important here is a lot of times when we do this movement, the elbow opens out to the side and the shoulder collapses forward, which means that we end up using a whole bunch of other muscles that aren't the subscapularis. So as you gently press one hand into the other, you want to keep your chest very nice and open. And the feeling that you're looking for is actually more in your back than in your shoulder, because it's underneath that shoulder blade. So see if you can feel it. I sometimes like to close my eyes when I do this. See if you can feel that quiet voice of that little muscle that's underneath your shoulder blade. It's such an important muscle because it's a big part of what keeps your shoulder from falling forward out of the shoulder socket. That sounds important, doesn't it? Let's just hold that here and feel free to play around with this as much as you want to try to find your new friend, subscapularis. All right, shake it out. Next, we're going to try for our external rotation. There are actually 2 external rotators in the back of the shoulder here, teres minor and infraspinatus. And they run from the back of the arm bone across, and they attach to the surface of the scapula right along the edge. And there are 2 of them. They're right next to each other. They're total best friends. They do everything together. So to find those, we're going to press our left shoulder gently against the wall, standing up straight, so I don't want to lean into the wall. And my thumb is going against the wall over here. And then I'm going to gently press my thumb into the wall. So it's like I'm trying to do this movement, but because the wall is there, I can't. So again, it's an isometric. And the isometric helps us find that quieter voice of a muscle that's otherwise hard to find. And I'm trying to feel that back of the shoulder area. And I'm trying to feel it right sort of like back where the armpit and the shoulder come together. And again, just listening for the voice of that muscle. And it can be tempting, in this case, to let the elbow come forward and use the bicep or the deltoid muscle to make this happen, something that kind of looks like that. So again, I'm trying to keep all of this nice and still and just feel that back of the shoulder rotator cuff muscle. Find it? Fantastic. All right. Our last rotator cuff muscle is right along the top of the shoulder here, the supraspinatus. This is the one that is most often injured when people talk about rotator cuff injuries and they don't tell you which muscle. It's often this one because it runs through this little hole between 2 bones. And if your shoulder mechanics are a little off, it can get smooshed. So we really want to be able to find it, strengthen it, keep it happy. So this one isn't so much of a rotation as a lift. So again, I'm standing with my arm against the wall and I'm gonna drop my shoulder down, making my neck nice and long. And the movement I'm imagining that I'm gonna do is to lift my arm out to the side, but I can't because there's the wall, but I'm pressing the back of my hand into the wall at the same time as I push my shoulder down. And by pushing the shoulder down, I try to take the deltoid out of it. So the deltoid is the big muscle on top. And I'm trying to feel, again, that quieter voice. It's an internal muscle, so it's underneath the deltoid. If you touch your deltoid, it should be nice and soft. See if you can find the muscle underneath it. And just take a deep breath again. If you want to close your eyes, just see if you can feel what's going on there in your shoulder socket while you do that isometric hold. Nothing else moves. It is a good muscle to have for anything where you lift your arm up overhead. You really want to be in touch with this muscle in order to keep your shoulders healthy. All right, shake it out. Be sure to try this on both sides. See what happens. And one of the things you're looking for is there a place where you have a hard time engaging the muscle, where things really want to come out of alignment, or if there's any kind of pain. And by doing this, you can see what's going on with the health of all of your different muscles and start to learn how to strengthen them, because it's hard to strengthen a muscle that you can't feel and you don't know where it is and how to connect with it. And this is going to really help with your overall shoulder health. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed it. For more shoulder nerdiness and lots of other mobility exercises and workouts, please check out all the links below, subscribe to our channel, and as always, happy bendings.